Howdy, howdy, everyone. Mob Ross here with another interview with our oldest and longest-serving mod. Ara, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm just great. It's a wonderful Sunday afternoon, and sun's out, and I'm so glad we get to finally do this. Why don't you introduce yourself to those who don't know you?
I'm Ara. I've been a mod here for it's been 4.5 years now. It'll be coming up on 5 years in like June. I've been playing since late 2017, and I'm pretty much the leader of the Vault Hunters Guild.
Very nice. You say late 2017. When do you remember, like, even what month you picked it up?
So I couldn't necessarily give you an exact, but I think we started in October.
Okay.
I
So
think
still
I
close
joined the
beta.
Discord. I checked that in November, but I don't know exactly when we started. But if I had to guess, it's sometime in October.
Very nice. And how did you find Monumenta? Oh, and we're doing a 10-point brown.
Yeah, we
So-
just kept it simple. I just did Fragile and Dreadful 5.
Yeah, so lead on. I'll support.
All right.
So how'd you
Yeah,
find Monumenta?
We actually had been playing Ragecraft, as many people do. And after we finished Ragecraft, all three of them, we went looking to see, specifically Cyrelk, one of my guildmates, was looking for future projects, and he found Helisio's name attached to Monumenta, so he investigated that, and this was back when the server was whitelist. You needed invited, and he went onto the
Yeah.
Discord, and he asked for a bunch of people to be added, and we joined, and we've been playing ever since.
Woo! I'm glad you are. How is Ragecraft 1, by the way? Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it.
So I asked Helly that once, and he said, "Don't even play 1. I'm embarrassed of 1.
Yeah.
Just play 2."
Yeah, so honestly, like, the map itself is, like, okay, but there are some awful traps. Like, just terrible. It instantly kills you. And it's worse because not only does it instantly kill you, it just sticks you in a bedrock box and gives you, like, a dozen ways to kill yourself.
Oh,
There's
that's
no
just
way out.
mean.
Yeah. So it's just like, here you go. And it's awful because the trap is set off by a command block. And if you're anywhere near it, it gets you. There's really not anything you can, like,
That can
reliably
focus.
do about it.
That's
If I
pretty
recall
funny.
correctly, it gets set off by a gravel trap, and the area that it affects is huge. So, yeah. And there's 2 of them in the same area.
That's just mean. You mind if I crystallize and I'll just hold onto the currency and we'll split it at the end?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. Anything I find, I'll just crystallize, and we'll split up everything after.
Cool. And when did you join as a mod? I know you said 4.5 years. Were you here like a month before that?
Let's see here. I think it was in June, if I recall correctly, of 2018. So about 8 months after I started.
Nice. Unlock that.
Yeah, there was a lot of mods were needed at the time. I got added in a big wave. It was myself, Bai, TK, Quack, whole bunch of us.
Wow. Brings you back. So how'd you come up with your username?
I'm not really a very creative person when it comes to that kind of stuff. Honestly, I just borrowed the name from my first D&D character I ever had.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, you still made that.
I did. I mean, I just borrowed some names from... well, I guess I give you the full story. So, like,
Please do.
I borrowed the name from my D&D character, whose name was AramilNuren, was actually his name. And we went to play in high school. My friends wanted me to start playing RuneScape with them. So I needed a name for my character. So I went with that name, and I created the character. But then, like, 3 days later, I couldn't log into the account for some reason. So I just went to create a new one. And I was like, I don't want to come up with anything vastly different. So I just used the same first name and came up with Nuren. And I've been using that ever since.
Very nice. Is it Nihilo as in like Nihilo?
It was Nilo
Oh, okay.
at the time. Yeah.
Dude, pigment and rare. Nice.
Really?
Yeah. Good luck already.
Sweet.
Sorry, I grabbed it. It's the offhand.
It's all good.
Oh,
I just like bopping the chest so that when I'm looking later, I know where I've been and where I
That's
haven't.
smart. And you actually have an
Yeah.
axe to do it with.
Yes.
That's awesome. Do you have a caffeine addiction? And if so, how bad is it?
No, I do not.
Well,
I mean, there's a little bit of caffeine in some of the stuff I drink, but like I don't drink coffee. So I definitely don't have that much of an addiction by any means. Oh.
Well, good. Always like to hear no on that question.
Yeah, I know some people, you know, they drink a lot of coffee. It's like, yeah, this is fine, but yeah, I've drank like maybe a cup of coffee in my life.
Very nice. Are you using defensive
really.
line pretty liberally?
Anytime that I see like a group of mobs or a powerful elite, I pretty much pop it.
Nice, because my survivability is way higher than it was when I was doing this solo. Awesome.
Let me do a quick look and see what your build looks like compared to mine.
Oh dear. What build? I just slap on stuff.
I still want to rough, see how durable you are. Your damage reduction is higher than mine on most stats.
That's kind of surreal. It might be is that when I'm holding... Try now, when I'm not holding...
Oh, you
True
were
North.
holding the compass.
Yeah,
that would do it.
I love True North is
Okay.
just in my hand all the time when I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah. Well, your durability still looks pretty good across the board.
Okay. Well, given that we have Fragile, I really want to avoid dying.
Yeah. Honestly, Fragile to me is like a no-brainer most of the time just because it doesn't really add difficulty to the actual delve itself.
Yeah, it just rewards you for not dying.
Yeah.
So tell me about your history of CTMs. And I take it that you played it with friends. How'd you discover the genre? What are your favorites? All that jazz.
So me and my friend group have been playing CTMs since before they were CTMs. I'm talking super hostile, of course. But like back when there was no monument, there were no wolves, we were playing Sea of Flames, like the first iteration.
Oh, dang!
Yeah, so
Yeah, Sea
we're
of Flames
old
1.
school when it comes to the CTM genre.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember we would die so many times. We had like no gear to speak of, and we're just trying to assault whatever area we can find, and we're just dying and dying and dying.
In
But
fire.
I think yeah, exactly. Well, we were instructed to do so, right? But yeah, exactly. I'll just grab this.
Oh, this is a pipe! I wondered where the fifth one... Oh, okay. I thought there was an ether cell here.
Oh, got a rare there.
Oh, I'm glad we came down here. Which one?
The one.
Oh, this is unfortunate.
I have an easier way out, but it's only going to work for me. And for some reason that didn't work.
I benefited
and
from
now
it.
Just made everything awful.
It's part of the fun. Happy little accidents.
Indeed.
So how did you graduate from Vex maps to like the CTM genre as a whole? How'd you discover the others?
Honestly, we like back when like we were playing all of his maps. I've played several of his maps many times back in the day. Like not his new stuff, but all of his older stuff. And then we just kind of evolved to other maps from there, like playing Ragecraft and like Pantheon, stuff like that. I haven't played much for CTM since joining Monumenta, but yeah, definitely back in the day did a lot of them.
Yeah, that's been a common story when I ask this question. They don't play many CTMs outside of it. What was the most recent, like the most modern CTM you think you've played?
Probably Ragecraft 3.
Wow,
if I was
yeah.
completely honest, yeah. Oops.
No.
I meant to drop down and kill that guy, but I guess I didn't have Glorious Battle Stack. Oh, that's a cool finisher.
Yeah, it's a new Excalibur.
Ah, I haven't heard that one yet.
Love that defensive line of yours.
It's easily one of the best skills Warrior has.
Yeah, I'm so bad about picking it when I try. Well, cool. What piece of Monumenta content is your favorite to play and your least favorite to play?
Favorite would probably be Depths, hands down.
Nice.
Which I know is a fairly popular answer with, you know, there's good reason for it.
Nonetheless, why? Why don't you tell us? What do you like?
I don't know. I love the style of it. It feels kind of like a roguelike to a point. Like you don't know necessarily what you're gonna get. So every run is a little different. And I don't know, I really like that aspect of it.
And
it's always fun to see how far you can push too.
Yeah, what's your furthest floor you've gotten to?
Trying to remember how far we got here.
I don't
Into the hundreds.
You've got mod powers.
I have to remember the scoreboard offhands. Let's see here. Get score.
I imagine depths might just be the word.
It could be. No, I think that's how many times you've run depths.
Oh, right.
There we go. Depths endless. 117. That sounds about right.
That's wild.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think at that point we were already down to only two survivors, so it was starting to make things really tough. It was Pax and I, if I recall correctly.
Of course it was the two most unkillable warriors.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's good. And your least favorite?
Frost Giant.
Things to play? Ooh, wow, that's a hot take.
Hands down. It's easily the worst world boss in the game. I'm sorry to anyone that likes it, but it's terrible.
¿Por qué? Why?
Because they ruined it. And I know you're going to ask a question later. It'd be like, if you were a dictator and you could change things, what would you change? Get rid of the stupid circle he has that forces you to basically stand on top of him the whole stupid fight. Honestly, if you did that, the fight would be great again.
These particles are so insane. Yeah, that is surprising. Especially as a warrior, I would have thought you'd enjoy the incentive to stay close.
I mean, that's fine, but the problem is the area is too small. It being a world boss, you end up with so many people crammed in the area, you have to play kind of in F5 mode. I really don't like that aspect of it. I mean, he's already got this really cool mechanic where as the fight goes, he constantly breaks chunks of the arena, which already forces you to be closer to him. But it might as well not even exist, that mechanic, because you're already forced to basically be sitting on top of him the entire fight.
Particles are insane here. So if you could change, I guess you answered that. If you could change anything about depths, what would you change?
Change about depths? Ooh, you don't want to mess with perfection too much.
Shadow and Pie, if you're listening to this, don't let it get to your heads.
I mean, I'd have to think about that because, yeah, it's already so much fun.
Absolutely. We'll come back to that one. So back to the dictator question, because you answered what you would change about Frost Giant, but what would you do for the game as a whole? Things that are like major changes with Monumenta fundamentally, what would you change? And assuming that everyone loved your change, you wouldn't even make anyone sad. So you don't need to risk about hurting their feelings.
What would I
particles?
Oh my god. Stupid guys with axes. Well, I'd probably do some changes to the way that true damage is done to the player. I feel like too many boss fights have it where like having more health is always bad. And as a warrior with, a skill that gives you more health, it always sucks. It feels like it's just extra health you have to regen most of the time. So I would want to tweak that at least. But that feels like a pretty minor thing overall.
That's reasonable.
Ow. Can't think of anything else just off the top of my head here.
All right, well, that's a good answer. Who is your favorite other moderator?
Well, spoilers, I probably already ruined that for you, but it would definitely be Pax. No offense to any of the other mods, they're great. Well, no, not even that. We do a lot of stuff together, even outside of Monumenta.
Oh, nice. Oh, for real? Do tell.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing a playthrough of all the Borderlands games with Pax. And we play Left 4 Dead with him occasionally when we just want to do something quick, like stuff like that.
Very good. Which Borderlands?
Yes.
Which is your favorite?
Ooh. Honestly, to play, gameplay-wise, probably 3 at this point. Story-wise, probably have to go back to 2.
I'd agree with that. Who's your favorite character of all of them to play style-wise?
Playstyle-wise. Zane, easily.
Nice.
From the 3rd game. I love the fact he can rock 2 action skills. It's so much fun. Always go, well, I've done different styles with him, but I prefer these days clone and drone, I believe is what everyone calls it.
I like that. Nice. Yeah, that's what I used on my first run too.
Yeah, I love the character. I've had people tell me, it's like, yeah, your personality is like matching his.
That's awesome. I had no idea that you and Pax were close outside the game. That's cool.
Oh yeah, no, we do tons of stuff. I mean, even in Monumenta, like we do delves and stuff all the time together too. So, but yeah, we definitely do a lot of stuff outside of it.
Do you want to talk about Vault Hunters and them being your friend group? That seems like that's going to be a big part of this. It already has come into play.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've loved the games ever since I started playing them back on, I think, PS3 when I first started. But then I found out they were on Steam and you could go, 4-player instead of only 2 on the PS3, unless you had 2 consoles. And ever since then, it's been a staple of our multiplayer gaming.
Very good. I meant like your IRL friend group. Who's in that? All the people that joined Monumenta.
Well, we had 5 founding members of the guild originally, but one of them pretty much like left right after we founded it. So it'd pretty much be myself, Badbird, Cyrelk, and Sarge.
Very nice.
I did not mean to do that.
There's a bit of trivia about you and Badbird and your relation to each other that took me like a year to learn. Do you want to tell it?
Oh? What trivia? What do you know?
Who he is. It blew my mind, like in relation to you.
Oh, he's my brother.
Yeah! And
You didn't know that?
Well, no, I did eventually, but I knew you for like 2 years before that came up. I just thought he was your buddy.
Ah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, he's my older brother.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an elite down here.
Okay, we're good.
There we go.
What are your thoughts on future, not Monumenta, but future Minecraft additions, updates?
I haven't looked at that in a little bit. I've seen some like experimental things that they've tested, and some of them look good. I couldn't even think of them off the top of my head here. It's been so long since I looked, but honestly, we're gonna have to just wait and see what they come up with at this point. I don't even know. I haven't looked in a while to really give you a concrete answer one way or the other.
That's fair. It's been kind of a common answer that Minecraft is just a Monumenta dev tool now.
Yeah.
To a lot of us.
Well, pretty much all my Minecraft time is always spent on the server here. Like, I do have a survival world going, but I've only put a little bit of time into that.
Just got another one of those ones.
Nice.
We're doing good on rares. When you first started out as a moderator, all the way back when, did you feel overwhelmed? Was there pressure to be perfect from the get-go? How'd all that feel?
Definitely felt a little overwhelmed at times. So nowadays, when a new mod gets added, there's a couple other mods will take them and give them an introduction to, how things work and everything. That wasn't really a thing when I started. They kind of just added you to the team. They give you access to some documentation on how to do stuff, and then they kind of just let you do your own thing.
Yeah, sounds about right. Sorry about that.
That's all good. We figured it out. I would say my mentor at the time probably would have been Sky, back when he was a mod.
Very nice. Well, I guess he succeeded because you're still here.
Yeah, no, like anytime I had a problem, I could go to him. I mean, like Busty too. Like he's great whenever you need help with something. If you know it's kind of above the mods and we don't know what's going on, Busty's usually there to help us out. But yeah, Sky definitely helped teach me a lot. Like I think it was on my first day as a mod. Like I got like introduced as a mod, and then the next day, I was founding a guild.
Oh, nice. Yourself?
No, VH already existed at the time. We were founded by Violet back in the day. Like she's the one that created our guild, the mod.
Right.
So, oh, I got another rare. Didn't even notice.
What? Which one?
I got a charm. Decay duration, withering petal.
Nice. It's a good run.
Mm-hmm.
What's your? Go ahead.
I was just like, where was I? She founded the guild, right? But back in the day, founding a guild was a lot different than it is now. Like now, there's like this nice, convenient command you run. One command, and if done correctly, the guild will be founded, and that's it. You're done on that end of things. Back when I first did it, there was like 8 or 10 commands you had to run that did different things, and if you screwed up any of them, it messed up everything. And you didn't really know until you were done on some of them whether or not it worked correctly. So yeah, that was definitely a little like nerve-wracking as like one of the first big things I did. But thankfully, Sky came and helped me out after a little bit, so it wasn't so bad. But like the thing is, as a moderator, or even a member of TM, like everybody does something at some point that screws something up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like one time I deleted somebody's entire plot. It happens.
It's not whether you'll require a rollback, it's when.
Yeah. Pretty much. But like you just have to, just deal with the fact that it's going to happen at some point. You do what you can to minimize that, and you just try and do your best. You learn as you go.
Well said.
And like I try and help any of the new moderators too. Like if they ever have questions, they come to me sometimes, and I'll do what I can. But not everybody can know everything. That's why we have the documentation, like all the mod stuff that people created, so that we can have better communication. And you don't necessarily have to go to people. You can just look at the documents and be like, oh, that's what I need to do to fix this. Because that existed before a little bit, but some of the other newer mods definitely improved it and made it a lot better.
Yeah, Cringe and there's one other. There were like 2 mods that really made our
I think it was Dea when she was a mod. Yeah. Also helped a lot with that. I don't know who all worked on it, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't help at all.
Well, because you knew it all.
I know a lot, but like things have also changed a lot too. So some things like we used to do a lot, I don't do anymore. Like resetting people used to be manual mod work. Now you can just go into the reset booth and it takes care of itself. Get out of here.
What's your favorite bit of drama that's happened in the Monumenta community?
Drama. Well, I don't generally do a lot of the drama stuff, but I guess if I was to go back and pull something most people wouldn't know about, it might be the time that Badbird blew up someone's pixel art.
No. Was it the anime one?
Yeah, the one that was over the water just outside of Far there.
Right. Oh, I have a picture. Okay, I'm gonna put that up as an overlay right here.
Yeah, there's also a video recording of the explosion going off. If anyone wants to go, I could find that. And, we can maybe link that.
I'm going to make a note of where we are in the recording so I can find this later. Cool. Very good. You fell all the way down.
Yeah, but I landed on some, so I didn't get any damage.
Nice. How do you feel about that change to make it so you don't actually have to hit them?
It's so nice. I mean, before, you'd pretty much just, as you were coming down, you'd spam to try and make sure, like, especially on that far of a fall, to make sure you didn't take, like, 3/4 of your health and damage and then just die to the mobs. But yeah, it makes the skill a lot better.
Good.
Rocket Boots also helps, honestly. So much fun. Between that and Glorious Battle, I have a lot of mobility.
Very good. Do you have any cool scars and a story that goes with them?
Yep, I got a couple. When I was really little, like, I don't know exactly how old I was. I must have been around 6. My parents lived, maybe I was even younger than that. Anyway, my parents lived out at this place. There was just 4 trailers. So there was 4 different families living out there. And there was my family, and then there was the guys at the end also had a couple kids that were a little older than I was. So, I kind of looked up to the 2 of them. And they were out in the front driveway area playing hockey. And so I went out and, I wanted to join in. And one of them, being dumbass he was, decided to take a slap shot and hit me right in the head.
Well, dadgum.
I
said dadgum. We talking like front, back, side, temple?
Right in the front of the head.
Oh,
right in the forehead. Whack.
rude.
I was stunned. I kind of just staggered back for a moment. I didn't even feel anything. And then suddenly like a sharp pain in my forehead. I put my hand up to my forehead and it was just covered in blood. And that freaked me out. So, being, 8 years old or 6 years old, I was really little. I just ran crying for my parents, right?
As one does.
Yeah, ended up going to the hospital, getting a bunch of stitches in my forehead. Lots of fun. Found out later that that kid, his parents whooped his ass. They took his hockey sticks and they broke them and burned them. Because of what he did.
Okay, that's pretty metal, actually. Thank you for getting that one.
Yeah.
No, you keep saying these 2 syllables. Hockey. What is that? What?
I hear it's a sport. Some guys fight over a puck. I don't really know much about it. My dad likes it.
Very nice.
Never really been a sports fan myself.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then I do have another scar, and this is the one I kind of warned you about in advance.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I mentioned it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Might have to put a bit of a warning here, because there's going to be a lot of medical stuff involved in this one. So, I actually have a question for you before I go any farther on this. Has there ever been a moment in your life where you had something happen and you thought, that was it, I might have died if this had gone poorly?
Yes.
You have had a moment like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this is the story about how I almost died. Oh, let me just clear this up here. So, it was just like a normal day, like any other, got up, went to work, came home.
How old were you?
Oh, that 21.
Okay.
And it seemed like everything was just average, run of the mill day. And, I go to sleep, and then in the middle of the night, I woke up and I just had this pain in my gut. And I really didn't know what was going on, as I've never felt anything like that before. So I kind of was just like in bed, tossing and turning, trying to figure out, is this something I should be worried about? Is this just like some awful cramping or something? Like, I had no idea. And after, I don't know, I was rolling around for a couple hours, it finally stopped. And I was just like, oh, thank God. But I was so exhausted because I hadn't slept much because of all that. I didn't go to work that day. I just called in sick. I relaxed. And then after that, everything felt fine. I was living at home at the time still. I told my parents about it. I was like, yeah, if something like that ever happens again, like, I'm getting you to take me to hospital. And my mom was just like, well, just hopefully it doesn't happen again. Cue 1 week later. Same as the previous day, just normal day, go to work, do my stuff, come home, go to bed, wake up in the middle of the night. Same thing. I've got this pain in my gut.
What?
Yeah, and it's like exactly 1 week later from a Thursday to a Thursday. Weirdest thing. And so
Huh.
I've got this pain in my gut. I'm just like, oh my God, what the hell is this? And so like I did the same thing just before. I kind of just toss and turn for a couple hours, hoping it'll go away. It doesn't. So finally I go and wake up my parents. I'm like, one of you's got to take me to the hospital. Like, I don't know what's going on, but this is killing me. So my parents, they live out in the middle of nowhere, to be completely fair. They drove me into the small town nearby to like a hospital. It's more of a triage center than anything, because they don't have a large facility there. But they started looking at me, trying to figure out what was going on. The doctor asked me if I was like doing drugs and stuff. I was like, no, that is not the answer here.
Might be the solution.
Yeah, exactly. So they hooked me up and actually did an ultrasound on me, take a look at my gut and see if they could figure out what was going on. I remember falling asleep during that because I was so exhausted. And yeah, they couldn't figure out what was going on. I was there all day at the hospital. They had no idea. I hadn't eaten anything or drank anything all day. So I was miserable, in pain, and tired. It was just awful. And after that, they decided they couldn't figure out what was up with me, so they were going to transfer me to a bigger hospital. So they brought an ambulance, and I got to ride in that to the other hospital. That was interesting. Never done that before.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way, there was this nice EMT guy in the ambulance, and he's like, yeah, if your pain gets too high, just let me know. And he gave me a shot of painkillers. I think it was morphine. I could be wrong. I liked him.
Yeah.
He was my favorite person that day.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then I got to the hospital and they got me all set up, and they decided they were just keep me overnight and monitor me and see what happened. At about, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning, the nurses heard all this clanging coming from my room. And I was in a room with 3 other people. There were 3 other beds. They come running in there, and they find me sitting on the floor. Because I was hooked up to an IV at this point, so it was my cart, the little thing with the IV bag on it. I had been walking to the washroom, and I almost passed out. I could feel it coming, so I just sat down, but my cart had banged into something. They found me on the floor, and they're just like, okay, there is something wrong with this guy. We have to get him into the OR. So they prepped me for the operating room right away, took me in, and put me under. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up in my hospital bed, surrounded by a few members of my family, and then they finally figured out and told me what had happened.
I'm literally dying of suspense.
I know. Any guesses?
Kidney stone wouldn't wait a week.
Nope.
I don't know. Something alive inside you?
No. No one's ever guessed that before. Most people, when they guess, they guess it has something to do with my appendix.
Yeah, but it waited a week. That's just the weirdest thing.
Right. So that's not what it was. So what happened is my small intestine folded over itself and cut off the blood flow.
No.
Yes. So what happened was the first night I felt this happen, it folded over itself. And that's when I woke up with that pain.
Uh-huh.
And it went on for a couple hours. And then eventually, as I was rolling around in bed, something I did unfolded it. And that's when I felt the relief, and I was finally able to go back to sleep. Week later, something happened, and it did it again. And this time, it just didn't unfold.
Oh, I don't like this.
And so what happened was, over that 24 hours where I was in that, state of it being folded over itself, it died.
What do you mean it started?
My small intestine started dying from the part where it's folded, going out because it cut off the blood flow. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
So when they opened me up, all they could see was my intestine was like getting gangrenous, and they had to cut out most of it. Your small intestine is somewhere like around 21 to 22 foot long, give or take. I have about 6 feet left.
Oh my gosh. Is that much of a change in your quality of life?
Mostly no. There are some things that definitely change. Like, so only a small portion of your small intestine is capable of absorbing B12. Specifically, I think it's about 3 feet worth. And I lost most of that. I've only got like a foot left of that part.
Shoot.
So every month I need to get an injection of B12. Because you need that in order to create, I believe it's red blood cells, so you can have oxygen traveling throughout your body. If I don't get that, I went a while without it once, and I started getting really dizzy all the time. So I definitely need to make sure I'm getting that on a monthly basis.
That's an incredible story. I'm so sorry it happened, man.
Yeah, and like I was telling you, I almost died. They figured if they hadn't opened me when they did, and dealt with the issue, I had 3 hours. So yeah, now I have a scar running from, middle of my gut down to, about my pelvis from where they opened me up. I spent a full 12 days in the hospital recovering. I didn't move for several days. I was just hooked up to machinery. I had IV drip. They actually, instead of the IV, usually in the arm is what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They hooked up a different thing that went up into my arm, but like right into the veins that feed basically right into the heart.
Yeah, in the
if
armpit.
I recall correctly, to get to get better flow. I couldn't eat anything because of what happened, so I was hooked up to feeding bags to make sure I was still getting some nutrients and stuff. I had a tube running from my stomach up through my throat, out my nose, to pull out anything that did get into my stomach because they didn't want anything going through my system. That actually left a bit of a mark on my nose. My nose is a little messed up because of that still.
Oh, weird.
It's not much. I'm the only one that notices. Other people don't notice unless I bring it up. I got sick during the stay there as well. God, I'm getting so lost here.
I think there's a long hallway down this way. I think we're heading towards Ether or Amethyst processing.
Oh, is that what I missed?
The story is the point. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. But I got sick for a while, and they put me on antibiotics, strong ones, because I was fighting off some crazy infection. I'm just going to hop down here. Where'd you go?
I hopped down. I thought that's what we were doing.
It's all good. I just need to squish that spider.
Thank you. Well, I think you've won the cool cool in a relative sense.
Yeah, I definitely
Impressive.
I knew I was going to be the most crazy out there story for sure. Yeah, I didn't eat anything for days while I was in there. I didn't move for like a good, 5 or 6 days. I just laid in that bed. I couldn't move. Thankfully, my friends, Sai brought me a laptop with a bunch of stuff on it to watch, so I didn't go crazy in there.
Good for Sai.
Yeah, no, he's great. I've been friends with him ever since high school. Great guy. But yeah, he brought me that, and that really helped, but it was definitely the worst ordeal of my life, hands down.
Well, I'm glad you made it through. I don't know quite how old you are. Was that something that happened during your playing Monumenta that we just didn't hear about?
No, that was before. Yeah, that was beforehand.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I got into Monumenta a few years later.
Cool. Well, thank you for telling. Maybe, have you seen Nats that we did last week by any chance?
I have not watched any in a little bit. Yeah, I have not seen that one.
Well, I don't want to take away the full story, but he identified his cancer after Technoblade talked about it. So maybe this will provide some insight to someone who needs to know that can happen to them.
Well, the
Never
thing
know.
is, like, what happened to me is so out there that
Oh,
the specialist that operated on me the first day, because there was actually 2 operations. The first day was like a 20-year specialist. He had never seen it before in his life. And after I woke up the first day, they told me, "Oh yeah, we're gonna open you up again tomorrow. We're bringing in the 30-year specialist to make sure everything got done correctly." Because they didn't want to take any chances.
yeah. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, so they opened back up the next day, and I guess everything was all right. But yeah, neither of them have ever seen anything like that before. And
That's wild.
that doesn't surprise me because it's so random. Like, we don't even know what caused it.
Do you remember what position you were sleeping in? Were you on your back or stomach or side?
I'm mostly a side and back sleeper,
Okay.
so probably one of those. But honestly, they figure it was probably I had some sort of either scar tissue or something on my intestines that created a weak spot that allowed it to fold like it did.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, they're totally speculating because they are not certain at all what caused it.
Well,
Oh yeah,
it almost
that's,
feels irreverent to go on to the next question, but
yeah.
wow, thank you for the complete
That's
story.
kind of my crazy story.
That's very crazy. Thanks for telling us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was needlessly graphic, especially
Well-
unless you send me pictures you want me to throw up on screen.
I was not shown anything. My dad saw what they pulled out. They showed him, but they wouldn't show me. They said,
Ooh.
"Yeah, it's bad." So
Gotcha.
I don't know what to tell you on that. I'd have to go off of just guessing what it looked like.
Well, I think we can all live with ourselves if we don't show it here, even if we had pictures.
Agreed.
Oh, what's the most technically impressive thing you've done as a mod or fixed in your course here?
What
are you most proud of? You're like, oh, I pulled that off. I saved everything.
I
Server
saved
would have been
everything.
down.
I can't really think of a moment where it's like, yes, that saved the server. I mean, some of the more annoying bugs that I've had to deal with would be like stuff with the old boss mechanisms, but that stuff wasn't really saving the server so much as just trying to help somebody that was like stuck. Like the Azakor mechanism for a long time was causing lots of issues where Azakor wouldn't spawn and stuff like that. So I eventually went into the mech room and I figured out how to force spawn Azakor using just one redstone block. You put it there and it spawns Azakor. And I kept teaching everybody, do this. And eventually everyone figured out, and it's in the wiki now, it's like, just break this block, put redstone, Azakor appears. Problem solved. Same thing with Sanctum, the old Sanctum, back when it wasn't functions for the boss. And the whole thing was just a spaghetti code of command blocks. And if the boss failed, you'd have to go through this huge line of command blocks and figure out what you needed to turn on or turn off to get the boss to start again. So that was always annoying. Oh, and the apartments. Those were always frustrating.
Oh, yeah. There's some things I don't miss about old Monument.
Well, at one point, the apartments had this weird bug where half of them didn't work. You couldn't buy them. And no one knew how to fix it but me. I tried to show Spy one time how to fix it, and after I showed him, he's like, that's ridiculous. And it just got to a point for that, like, 2 weeks, everyone's like, oh, apartments problems, just get Ara to do it.
It's like being that one guy with a truck. It's
exactly.
Everyone asks you every time they need it. Yeah.
I just became the apartment fixer.
Well, thank you for doing it.
Yeah, no problem. That's what we're here for.
What's your most embarrassing skill issue moment playing Monumenta?
I haven't had a lot of moments where I was like, God, that was stupid. But if I had to pick, there would probably be just 2 that I can think of off the top of my head. So the first one isn't really that big a deal, but when roguelike first came out, and they released my favorite subset, Sunken Sewers.
Yeah!
I hate it. The charged creepers that weren't supposed to be charged were doing way too much damage. And one of them dropped on my head, instantly killing me. Thankfully, I was in a run with Sai and Badbird, and they managed to rescue all my gear. Because back then it was, permawipe. There was no safe option.
Yep. It was quite a thing. Yeah, I'm with you. Those creepers in Sunken Temple were evil.
They were awful. Thankfully, that's been fixed. It's not as big a deal now because, they're not doing the insane damage. But yeah, that sucked. But my probably worst moment was one time in White, way back in the day. So the room right before the snake, where you're going down, there's lava everywhere. I was a little cocky, and I was just kind of like jumping down, killing creepers and every other thing I could get at. And I fell down, and I didn't kill a creeper, and he blew up and sent me flying into the lava. And before I could react or do anything, I died, and graves didn't exist, and hope didn't exist, and my sabatons fell in.
This hurts me to hear.
Yeah, lost an epic.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, ever since then, I was so much more careful with epic gear. Like, if someone fell in lava, we just told them, log out, we'll save you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not worth risking the gear. So, having the grave system be implemented, it definitely takes a lot of stress off of that kind of thing. Oh, God.
Yeah, this is... There we go.
There we go. It's not a great spot to fight him.
This assassin berserker, that would have killed me in so many ways on a normal run.
Yeah, most things can't really kill me. I mean, my set's pretty good. I based it off of Pax's build that he's using in R3, but I've definitely tweaked it to my own preference. Oh, we got one of the candles here.
Yeah. So since all the mod work is voluntary, what keeps you... Why have you stuck with the game for so long?
Just love the game. I don't know what else to tell you. I've been addicted to it ever since we started playing it, and I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon.
I'd love to hear that. I'm completely with you. That's the reason. It's fun.
Oh, that. Look out, creeper. Okay, this white dude is an elite, and he hurts a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to track him down, too. There we go.
That's good. Good.
But yeah, white dudes are the worst. Gotta watch out for them. Yes, where were we? And before I ask this question, remember that this is the one that the patron did pay to ask. What is something that the player base keeps doing that you really wish they would stop? Could be legitimately demotivating or just kind of annoying.
I mean, there's not too much stuff that really comes off as annoying to me on that. I mean, if I was to pick something, I might just be like, if you're somewhere and you think you need mod help, just take a quick look around and make sure you actually need mod help. There are times where even just earlier this week, I think, someone sent a message in mod help and was like, I'm stuck in the lobby in whatever dungeon it was. I was like,
they didn't see the gate?
I didn't even go. I knew before they even said anything. I was like, are you stuck with the NPCs? He's like, yes, or whoever, he, she. And I was like, there's a gate. I promise you, just look, you'll find it and get out. And they did. I was just like, it's happened too many times. I know better by now.
That's really funny.
So, I mean, it's just kind of stuff like that. It's not really a big deal. Other than that, it'd be like, stop reporting game-breaking bugs in bug reports. Send it to a moderator.
Yeah.
Over the last bit, I don't know how many times we've gotten pinged. Somebody's posted something and was just like, damage control, delete. Let me grab my other weapon here quick.
I think this guy's negative, so I would like to be positive.
I don't know if this guy is charged, because usually if someone is charged, they have the plates. But we can go fix that.
No, let's just do it. We'll destroy him.
Yeah, we should be fine.
If there's one nearby. I know the other elite is positive. Yeah, he's negative.
Oh, he is. He's really on you. I wish I had a way to pull aggro, but I do not.
You play Guardian most of the time, right? Or is that Pax?
I play Berserker most of the time. Yeah, Pax is the Guardian guy. Especially, we play with him a lot, so like I don't really think there's a need for 2 Guardians all the time. I definitely do like Guardian, though. I do play it from time to time. Especially, what was that we were doing recently?
Nice. Good team.
Gallery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gallery. I was playing Guardian in because I've heard it's really good, and it definitely was.
Yeah, the tank gear in there is so godly when you get a full set of it.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Yeah, we haven't quite cleared that yet. Don't have enough AoE in our builds, I think, because we went in there with Guardian, Scout, Berserker, and an Assassin. So not a lot of AoE in that.
No, when you say clear, you just mean to get the trades, or?
Yeah, to get the trades. Yeah. We're close. We're like low 30s. I think it's 35. But we only tried it a couple times one day, so we'll definitely have to get to that here soon.
It's fun. It's kind of like depths. Once you really master it, it becomes a nice rhythm. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I was having a pretty good time with it. Let me fix that. Oh, that's high up.
So what is it about the game that makes Monumenta special to you? Of all the things you could be playing and devoting your time to, why this?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I always loved the CTM, so having like, this crazy big community that's kind of doing like CTM stuff is just, I don't know, I really like it. It's also the first Minecraft server that I've ever really been a part of. I've never been on like Minecraft or Skyblock or anything. I've never been. So it being, the first one I've ever been on, and it's, already a genre that I really like. I don't know, it's just really, really fun. I really enjoy everything about the game pretty well.
I love hearing that, man. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool. Good answer. What do you like doing outside video games? What other hobbies do you have?
Well, I mean, a lot of the time that's what I am doing is playing video games, whether, by myself or with friends, If I got other people, we'll be playing stuff like Borderlands, or a really big fan of Monster Hunter, if you've ever played any of those.
I played a little bit of World. Why don't you tell us what's great about Monster Hunter?
Well, it's like everything about it is a boss fight. And like that sounds like it could get boring after a while, but the fights are just so interesting and so cool that it never really feels repetitive or boring. Nice. And even if you want to change things up, you can just switch up your weapon type or your build, and it feels different again. So
nice. Which is your favorite Monster Hunter game?
Probably World at the moment. I definitely think there are things in it that look out. Things in it that could have been improved, but it's a big step forward, I think. I haven't started playing the next one yet. Rise, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I haven't touched that yet. Still haven't done everything in World I want to do, so. don't have enough time to play all these games.
It's such a problem, man.
Yep. And then other than that, I mean, more gaming is pretty much what we do, but just different ways. Like, I like on the weekends, a lot of the time we'll have people come over to my place and we'll play board games of some sort, like tabletop stuff.
What are your favorites?
Recent stuff would definitely be stuff like Gloomhaven, if you've ever heard of that.
Heard of it. I don't know anything about it. Why don't you tell us?
Dadgummit. Oh no! Rip.
Very writ.
Okay, well, I'm at your stuff.
Well, thanks. Gloomhaven?
How would I describe it? I mean, it's kind of like a mini D&D thing in a contained module. But it's like a deck builder at the same time. And you're basically like doing... it's like a dungeon crawler. You get thrown into an adventure, and there'll be some creature you have to go kill, or some loot you have to go and collect. And then after each mission, you'll earn some money or new pieces of gear and experience to level up your cards in your deck. And
do you do it in feels... like many sessions over days?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Gloomhaven. God, we've been playing that for probably a couple years at this point. We're almost done, but the sequel is coming out soon called Frosthaven, so we'll be starting that up whenever it finally comes out.
Nice. How old is Gloomhaven?
I don't have an exact on that. I'd have to check. No. For some reason, I think it may have come out in like 2017, but...
Well, cool. Sounds awesome.
I'm going to take a quick look. Oh, no, 2019. It's been a couple years. And then what else? Recently, we've also been playing a lot of Too Many Bones.
Is that like a full tabletop or just a board game?
It's kind of a board game. It's basically instead of a deck builder, it's like a dice builder of sorts. So as your character gets training points, you unlock different dice that you can then use, which represent your character's different abilities. And it's kind of the same deal. Like you'll get sent on it's less of a dungeon crawl, I guess. But you'll be sent out on kind of like a D&D style adventure where you're going after, there's a boss somewhere and you have to go and start killing his minions and working your way towards eventually defeating him. And then you can also change it up and do a full campaign where your character has to survive through an encounter of 7 of the bosses. And each time you beat one of them, your character gets a scar, which forces you to change your play style, either by like removing one of your skills or make it so you can't train a certain stat, and it really changes your play style. Ow. Ooh.
What is getting us like that?
All these bombers.
Did we spawn them while you were waiting on me to get back?
Possibly. Just gonna pop that. Okay, I think I dealt with them. There's still a spawner over here.
Nice. I'll get the other.
There we go.
Keep getting stuck on terrain. Nice. Good recovery.
Mm-hmm.
What did you study in school?
I didn't go to college or university or anything, so not much to say on that front.
What was your favorite subject in like high school?
Good question. Probably maybe science, honestly. Definitely not math. And English was never really my thing. It didn't help that like my English teacher in junior high really sucked. So, but yeah, probably science.
That teacher can ruin it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have too much to say on that end of things.
Well, then I won't ask you to.
Mm-hmm.
What surprised you most about being a mod here?
What surprised?
Or even
me
just
the
Money
most?
Minute in general. What's the weirdest thing about your whole experience?
Weirdest thing. I'm not too sure what to say on that.
All right, then. What's your fondest memory as a player and as a mod? If they're separate.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, as a player, you know, whenever you beat a new piece of content, there's always that rush, and it's like, you know, that adrenaline you get, especially if it's a tough piece of content. So anytime, you know, that you get something like that, it always feels really good. But honestly, one of my favorite things I can remember was honestly in playtesting. Back when Call wasn't even out yet, we were playtesting him. And it's a little my fault that he is the way he is now, because when we were doing playtesting, I survived a combo of hits that does over 100 damage and scared Firelord so bad that he started adding more damage to his abilities. Because I literally survived a combo that he said is impossible. He's like, how? That does 100 damage. Easy. And I was like, that's nice.
That's great.
It broke my shield.
Oh.
Yeah, I guarded a hit. It did so much damage, it instantly broke the shield. But I survived it.
Seems kind of self-balancing, honestly.
A little bit. I got knocked into the water, hit up into the air, which already did a ton of damage, struck by lightning, and took the fall damage. And I was still fine. And he was shocked. He's like, wow. I was like, yeah, warrior, we don't die. He's like, that extra HP might be a little too strong. I'm going to have to look into that. So.
That should be like a advancement called like Rasputin or something. You should have died in every possible respect.
That's a good one. I never thought of that, but yeah, that was awesome. Definitely really funny. He was shocked. He couldn't believe that I'd survived it. So I saved the chat log for it. It was really funny.
That'd be good to share if you can find it. So you heard it here, folks. If you have problems with Call, blame Aramil.
Whoops. I mean, he has also changed a little bit since then, but yeah, overall, might be my fault. Whoops. It also didn't help that Spy, because he was one of the testers at the time too, we were already duoing him in play testing.
Wow. What was Spy running, class-wise?
I believe he was a rogue at the time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Or it might have been Cleric, actually. I'd have to... That was quite a while ago at this point. I'd have to ask him.
Cool. What is your favorite video game outside of Minecraft, if not Minecraft itself, and why?
Well, obviously, Borderlands, the whole franchise definitely rates up there for me. The multiplayer aspect of it is, and the games themselves are just so fun, but the fact that you can play it with, you know, a bunch of friends just makes it better. Other than that, definitely Monster Hunter rates up there for me. If I was to pick a single player game, I'd probably have to pick BioShock.
Hey, my lad! That's my answer. Favorite, yeah.
I like the first game. Like, the first two games are both pretty good, but the first one definitely for me is where it's at. I've played it probably through like 6 times. I've played it on the toughest difficulty without dying. I really went all out on BioShock.
Oh, dadgum. How'd you pull that off?
A lot of patience and perseverance, basically. Like, the very first Big Daddy that you come up against to fight could one-shot me. I had to find a staircase that had like 2 sets, like, so there was a down and an up, and then an upper railing, so you could constantly walk around it. And I had to juke him while shooting him the entire time.
Yeah, you can do that when they're bouncers. What about when he like does the drill attack into the ground?
So
Is the
yeah,
one
that
in
would
medical as
that
well?
would stun me. But I was standing close enough to the staircase. I would just jump off of it, and then he'd have to run around and try and come and get me.
Okay,
And by the
cool.
time he did, it would wear off.
Well, nice.
Yeah.
Let's do the research lab. I think it's right here.
Oh yeah, we can do that. So yeah, I definitely would highly rate that.
Good taste, sir.
Indeed. Other than that, if I was to pick something else single player, I might pick like Doom.
The 2016 or the original?
Yes.
Okay.
Just Doom except maybe Doom 3. Well, we won't talk about that one.
Very
Oh,
nice.
jeez, that hurts. I don't know where this dude is, but he's doing a lot of damage.
I'm just gonna retreat.
Yeah, it might be for
Suggest
the
you do
best.
same.
I'm gonna pop that. Okay. Oh, here he is. There we go. I'll discard.
That actually works really well. It pins him so well. Thank you.
Yeah. The Enderman isn't a problem because he can't get rid of your shield. The Dreadnought that's really annoying is the one with the axe because he can just pop your shield.
Good team. What are some of your other favorite things like that? Television show, movie, musical artist, book series?
Well, when it comes to movies, like I watch a little bit of everything if I'm to be honest. Like I'm a pretty big fan of the Marvel stuff, Disney in general. I watch most of their stuff and it's pretty good. I'm particularly a fan of like Spider-Man has always been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. And then like TV show wise, like I like watching like if I was to pick genres, like I usually go for like fantasy, action, that kind of thing. Oh, I got two elites over here. Like lately we've been watching like a bunch of the Star Wars stuff.
Like the side content, like Mandalorian, or the main movies?
No, the recent movies haven't been great in my opinion, but the series have been great. So yeah, like Mandalorian, we're in the middle of watching Andor right now, if you've heard of that one.
Heard of it, haven't seen it. How is it?
It's pretty good so far. We're, I don't know, 9 out of 13 episodes through. It's been fairly good. It's got really good reviews, and I can see why. But definitely have to wait for full judgment until I'm done.
Sure, I will check it out.
That was research one.
Yes, sir.
And then Bad Batch is also coming out right now, the second season.
Isn't that like a sequel to Republic Commando?
It's actually more like a continuation to the Clone Wars.
Oh, okay, that must have been what I heard. I got a buddy who's really into Star Wars. He tells me all these things. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Clone Wars was really good. There's some other animated Star Wars stuff too that's in between there, but that's the one most people know. Trying to remember what that. Oh, it was Star Wars Rebels. It was also pretty good. I think that's what it was called. What is shooting me?
I think I got him. He was just chilling up on the balcony here.
Nice. And then also been watching a little bit of anime stuff recently too. A couple series I could recommend if you haven't already heard of or watched them. I imagine you've heard of them at least. Arcane.
Oh, yeah, the League of Legends, right?
Yeah. So, disclaimer. Just because Arcane is good doesn't mean League is good. You don't have to play League. Don't do it.
Have you played League yourself?
You know what? I'll show you something in just a sec here.
Oh. Yeah, this is your Steam profile hours.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I won't have to leave game for this.
Nice. Dad.
Okay. Oh no. Oh well, we just got the shortcuts.
Yeah, I went for the objective. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, I should have come down here with you. Dang it.
It was my fault. I was split up. Thought that one little hallway wouldn't be a problem.
I killed him. I avenged you.
Thank you. And a back.
You have much for regen in your build? That was one thing I didn't look at.
I have no regen at all.
I
my
have
blade will give me a bit. Yeah,
I
that's
have
it.
a
Really helps.
ton of regen. It really helps.
For sure. Normally I do. This is just a build I slapped on for this to do melee with you.
Okay. So it's not really something you did too much with. You kind of just grabbed it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fair.
Put it together.
Okay, so where'd you get to?
Went to the upper level.
Okay, I gotta
Muscle
make sure
glowing?
there's,
Yeah.
gotta make sure there's no
You want to
enemies.
show me your thing now?
Just in case you recognize him.
I don't. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. This skin is Jarvan the Fourth, which is a champion in League of Legends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure
he was my
viewers
main.
will-
Yeah. He was my main back in the day when I did play, but I haven't played it in years because it's just not good anymore,
That's sad.
in my opinion. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the community there is pretty toxic, and on top of that, I can't agree with a lot of the gameplay decisions, the changes they've done over the years here, so I just can't do it.
I respect that.
And then the other series I would highly recommend would be Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Oh yeah, I heard good things about that too.
Yeah, it's really good. I can't praise it enough. Like, it is amazing. Definitely a little sadder, I think, but really good nonetheless. I don't want to say too much though.
Well, thanks for the recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Would you tell us something about yourself that I would never have thought to ask you in the first place? Or put a different way, what's a question that you wish I had asked you? So you got an excuse to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably told you the craziest thing about me already, which was the whole scar situation.
That was a very cool story, but I'm sure there's more to
yes.
it than an injury story.
I said the craziest thing about
okay,
me, but I guess something you wouldn't have thought to ask would be, so you know the bad bird is my brother, yes?
Right,
We mentioned that earlier. He is my older brother.
Mm-hmm.
We were born
By
on...
how much?
we share a birthday.
The implications are just outstanding. What could that mean?
Indeed. So he
Are
is
you
my older
identical
brother.
or fraternal?
Identical.
Nice.
He is my older brother by a whole 12 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thankfully, we get along pretty well.
That was... What did you
'Cause-
do? Was that Glorious Battle?
That was, Meteor Slam Glorious Battle.
But they were in the air. How'd you hit them? Like you landed on them and that proc?
I hit them. If you hit with the axe, well, whatever weapon, it procs Meteor Slam.
What?
Yeah.
I never knew that. I didn't know you could hit them in midair. I thought it had to be on a ground spot.
No, if you hit him, it procs it.
Dude, that is so cool.
It shreds the blaze in this dungeon. I love it.
Huh. Go Berserker.
You know, it's really funny because, like, I used to call Sai, and I still call him that, Pogo Legs, because he plays Scout, and they get jump boost, right? But it's funny because every time we get a new region, I get more Pogo Legs than he does because I can jump higher than him.
That's delightful.
Watch out for the creeper spawner there.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
While you've got the ear of the audience, do you have any closing thoughts or statements that you want to say to the player base and the viewers, or to me? That was all the questions.
Nothing really comes to mind. Yeah, no, I think that pretty well covers most everything I could think of.
Very good. Aramil, thank you so much for the interview and for being such a great mod and sticking with the game, and you really make it wonderful.
Oh, it's
Monument
great
is
to
a
hear
better
that
game
kind of.
and community, and because of you. Thank you, dude.
I do my best. I just want to make sure that everyone can enjoy the game as much as I do.
That's a good goal. Just like we make the game we want to play, you help make everyone enjoy it like you want to.
Exactly.
Well, cool. I'm gonna end the recording now. Thank you so much for watching, and for those at home, and thank you, Aramil, for the interview and for protecting me.
Mostly.
Didn't even need Guardian. Oh, that was just me being stupid and running off on my own. So thank y'all so much, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.